Hello, and welcome to Channel Zero TV with John and John. I'm John.
And I'm John.
And tonight we are going to continue our quest to renew, recapitulate, revive, rinse, and repeat with a sketch done by the comedy team of Nicols and May at the 1959 Emmy Awards. John, can you tell us a little bit more about Nicols and May?
Sure. Well, Nicols and May were a comedy phenomena. They came out of the University of Chicago and were doing some of the very early improv that eventually spawned Second City, but they became sort of a major hit all on their own. They had a hit performance of their sketch comedy on Broadway, and they were the toast of television variety, which was sprouting at the time. And tonight we're going to look at a presentation that they made at the 1959 Emmy Awards.
Well, without further ado, let's roll that. And when we're done, we'll come back here and we'll talk a whole lot more about Nicols and May.
Now to present the next award from New York, Elaine May of the comedy team of Mike Nichols and Elaine May.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am very proud to be able to present the next award. It is a special award, special not only in that it's not listed tonight in any of the categories, but also in that it's the first award of its kind ever to be presented by the Academy. There will be a lot said here tonight about excellence, and the creative, the artistic, and the skillful will all be recognized and rewarded. But what of the others in this industry? Seriously, there are men in the industry who go on year in and year out, quietly and unassumingly producing garbage. Very proud to have been chosen by the Academy to present tonight's special award to the man who has been voted the most total mediocrity in the industry, Lionel Glass.
The proudest moment of my life. My cup runneth over, I can tell you. And I can also tell you that getting here was not easy. Many times, members of my staff have asked me to try to do something good. And I have to admit that I was tempted while they said try to do something good, but I held out. And I'm very proud that you have shown your faith in me for sticking to my one ideal, money. I'd like to tell you briefly how I did it. Firstly, no matter what suggestions the sponsor makes, I take them. Secondly, I disregard talent in order to hire only swell guys. And last, and most important of all, I think, I have tried to offend no one anywhere on earth. And I think the measure of my success is that in 10 years of producing, we have received not one letter of any kind. I think that speaks for itself. And in closing, I would like very much to thank my directors, my writers, my actors. I'd like to thank them, but I can't. I did it all myself.
At times like this, I'm reminded of a great quote from the late Ernie Kovacs, himself a comedian of no small ability, who once observed, right around this time, 1959, that television was indeed a medium because it is neither rare nor well done. So what do you say to that, John?
Well, they were both operating around the same time when television was their bread and butter, but they were also coming from a position of really knowing what sort of television lacked. I mean, they were creatures of the theater, they're creatures of Broadway, also extremely literate. Their comedy performances would ask members of the audience to kind of throw out ad lib situations that they would then perform in the mode of Aeschylus or Philip Marlowe, some great playwright. So very New York, very well read, and this was classic Nichols and May. I think they met at the University of Chicago. They're very edgy. May would sort of frequently come up with a concept that then the two of them would run with. I think I could sort of see that going on in this performance, this sort of straight introduction by her, which the audience could tell was going somewhere, followed by Nichols playing the role he was given. So if you get a chance to see more of their stand-up comedy sketches, there's a lot of them on YouTube, and they really were unique phenomena.
I'm fascinated with the fact that we're really only about 11 years into the modern television era, which more or less dates from the coaxial cable making simultaneous television broadcasts to both coasts a possibility. And we're a decade into it, and already television has ossified to such a degree that it's a huge, ripe target for satire.
Yeah, yeah, no, and you remember that the two of them both sort of had careers in virtually every kind of artistic medium. They did stand up. They were on in the theater, and of course, Mike Nichols went on to be one of the most successful stage directors of all time. Originating many Neil Simon's plays. And then of course, having a brilliant career as a filmmaker. First film was Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? That was sort of the bridge between theater and the screen, but then The Graduate, which really sort of put him on the map as one of America's great filmmakers.
Yeah, I guess Elaine had a much more uneven path as a director herself. She did The Heartbreak Kid with Charles Grodin, who just died last week. She also directed Dustin Hoffman and Warren Beatty in Ishtar.
Oh yeah, the classic Ishtar. That was
Yeah.
the biggest fiasco till the next one. Yeah, so most of her work was in writing, script doctoring. She was the sort of go-to person for many directors and producers, including Mike Nichols, who turned to her several times, especially towards the end of his career, to help out with scripts that were struggling, but which I should note they often did. I mean, Nichols had some fabulous films. Silkwood, The Graduate I mentioned, some of the films he did towards the end of his career, Wit, and Angels in America on HBO. So he's had, a stupendous career, but it was a very uneven career. Often he ended up producing films that he was hoping would be sort of Hollywood blockbusters, and he ended up with, Day of the Dolphin.
Yeah. If I read correctly, she wrote a lot of Bill Murray's dialogue in Tootsie, which, now that is, a storied script in the history of Hollywood. It passed through so many hands. Everybody thought it was going to be this multi-megaton H-bomb. And yet it was, one of the biggest comedies of the early 80s. And in particular, yet another breakout performance by Bill Murray, thanks to her.
Interesting, because he was sort of the side character. He's Dustin Hoffman's roommate, but his lines are the most memorable. They've as a group, they really were extremely close. As I said, sort of starting from University of Chicago, going to height of Broadway, but then they sort of went their separate ways. I think Nichols wanted to pursue, the stage and eventually film. This is somebody who, was a war refugee. He had some treatment, I think, while he was in Germany that made him lose all his hair. That hair you're seeing in this picture was a wig, which he wore his entire life, sort of completely bald. So he had some struggles, but including struggles with drugs and alcohol, which I think also kind of put brakes on various points in his career. But what a career! There's a fabulous new documentary out about Nichols from Mark Harris that's really kind of chronicles his entire career. Funnily, it doesn't mention this Emmy appearance, I don't think. But this is a nice sort of nugget of something that really kind of shows them kind of owning a new medium, whether it was stand-up or, in this case, TV, theater, movies, sort of, owning a medium that they were new to, and kind of bringing a whole new sort of intelligence to it, a wit to it, an edge to it. This was really part of that era. I think last time we talked about Lenny Bruce, this sort of transition from very pigeonholed categories of entertainment to people like these two who really broke down those barriers.
They did indeed. They did indeed. All part of a larger, more transcendent process. So I think that's all for this week. We will be back hopefully soon with another episode of Channel Zero TV. Until then, I'm John.
And I'm John.
And this has been Channel Zero TV. Thank you.